On today's show, in 2025, I hope the Mavericks, Mavs fans, and everyone listening learned one thing. Don't ever close your title window.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
I think that's a good question.
Good morning, Isaac. All these changes, I still got my dog, Dwight Powell.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave you.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome, you're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Thanks for being an everydayer, making Locked On Mavs your first listen every day, and making Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Tell them the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You get $20 off your first purchase. Joining me, as always, my co-host, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years, right alongside me, the hold down the fort folly, the one more thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
Welcome back, honey. You've been gone. Trying to hold down the fort.
Feels like I was gone for a long time. It was like 3 days.
It was 3 days. It felt like an eternity. Last night's show, if y'all haven't listened,
All-timer.
Slightly and I were just talking about country music and just so many random
Which
things.
neither of you know anything about.
No, not at all. And I was like, all right. We're pushing the limits on Nick being gone now. So Nick is back. Thank God.
We're back. The ship is now back on course. I don't know what course it is. We'll figure out what that is.
You missed some really good games, Nick.
We're going to talk about lessons that we've learned in 2025 that the Mavericks should have learned. I want to talk about Cooper Flagg. We'll talk about Anthony Davis. Things on the court I think the Mavs have learned for this team. I've got some random ones I'll throw at you that I think we've learned so far this season. But let's start here because this is the last Locked On Mavs of 2025. And this year has been just one of the most insane sports years a team, a franchise, a fan base has ever gone through. And I think that it is important for us sometimes to look back and say, all right, what lessons can we learn? What lessons should we learn from everything that just went down? Like gestures to everything. We're going to have a show, I think, coming up soon with the three of us, with Isaac slightly and myself, where we go through the whole timeline of what happened in 2025 and just like remember stuff and go back through everything and talk about, all right, where are the Mavericks now compared to where they started at the beginning of all this? And it's insane and wild. But if we're talking about lessons the Mavs should learn from this last season, the first one is don't close your window. Don't close your own window. If you've got a title window, your team makes the NBA Finals, you don't close it yourself and think I'm smarter than everybody else in the room. You have a star, you have something that works, that is working in the NBA. You just ride it out and you got to make that thing work. And I think that's something that the Mavs can learn going forward is that, all right, you have Cooper Flagg now. You go forward, figure out what works around him, and then you stick with that. And you do not just pivot off of that for whatever reason because you think you know better or for whatever that is. And this is now. Cooper Flagg is now. He's the present. He's the future. That is your new window, and the new window is now. I mean, it opens in I think 2 or 3 years. Like it'll take a little while for it to open back up. But once it does, don't close it yourself. Don't make a trade that closes it for you because. Dang, is it closed now?
Yeah, if you go to the finals and you lose with Cooper Flagg, maybe not, trading Cooper Flagg the very next year because you didn't win the finals. I think that was one of my favorite Nico things too, which as I was creating the timeline for 2025 earlier today, I was going through some Nico quotes from this past year. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot he said that. Oh my gosh, he said that too. It's like, oh, how could I rank this one? And
Explain yourself. Sorry.
I just love how post trade him bringing up, well, we didn't win the finals. So like as this like reason for the trade, I'm like, well, we didn't win it, so we made it there. But yeah, I think it's a lesson for the Mavs and for everybody. Unfortunately, the Mavs, is probably gave that example to the rest of the league of like, you have a young star who is entering his prime. And yes, we've ended up with Cooper and all the stuff, but it's like if you have a young star entering his prime and you've already had postseason success, like you've already been to a conference finals, you've already went to finals like in a separate year from that too, you don't close it on your own because you just never know. I think sometimes for Mavs fans, I think, we're spoiled in a little bit of the sense of the star handing on the baton, like Dirk and to Luka to Cooper. We haven't had to experience like the 40 years in the wilderness like some of, like the Kings or some of these franchises out there.
The Hornets are in the 400 years of silence between the Old Testament and the New Testament is what they are in.
It's like there are just so many franchises out there that it takes them forever to have any type of playoff moment, or God forbid, make a conference finals, or to find that next like superstar to build around moving forward. So a lot of times it's franchises trying to, if you're not one of the big markets, it's like, ooh, can this guy be like that if you don't hit lottery luck? And Dallas has done it again in Cooper Flagg. And now you got to learn that lesson of once that window opens with Cooper, don't try to don't get too close to the sun trying to outthink everything and be like, you know what? Let's shut it for now because we're going to open it up bigger later. This is a new vision, a new window to look out of. No, don't do that.
I think in that lesson, I think there's so many lessons that ownership should learn from it, because that's the decision maker going forward, is that beware of the power grabber. Like, beware of the guy that just like is pushing out everybody else and only wants one voice in the room. Like that is not a person I think can work in 2025. I don't know that is something that works, especially somebody that's never done the job before.
That's the thing. I think of like a Sam Presti comes in or something like that. And it's like, all right, well, you got
But I don't know if he works that way.
No. I'm just saying, if somebody has a track record and they come into like a new situation and it's kind of ran that way, you're still going to burn bridges, right? Like you're still going to burn relationships, but you at least have something to build off of. And for Nico, it was like, hey, well, I got this, 17-year-old to sign on to Nike back in the early 2000s. So one of the things that's tied into this for me when I think about lessons from 2025 is the fans have power. Like, I think
literally wrote down the fans affected the owner's decision.
I think when you look at it, I think this will be like a test case, not really a test case, or an example that will be looked on across sports in general for the next years. The fact that I don't think that Nico was gone and this new direction for the franchise is being laid out if it wasn't for the fans, like a deal and the fan reaction, to it of, into this season of just like bringing back the Fire Nico chants in the arena this season. Now, once again, I'm not advocating for all the stuff because there were death threats and stuff last year that all happened, but we're talking about the realistic, hey, like the fans won't like, I was just talking with somebody the other night in at a Christmas party with some friends and stuff. It was actually on Christmas Day, a lot of people in there, and it was a season ticket holder that had been a season ticket holder for a long time. And the gentleman said, yeah, I gave him up this year. Like, this is the first time in a long time I gave him up. He said, I just can't support it. I just, and it wasn't no like, funny thing about it or like, hey, I'm just trying to get attention here. It was just me and him talking in the corner. I was like, dude, how's the games going for you this year? But he's like, no, I gave him up. Like, I'm not coming back. And I just don't want to support that. It's that type. That's the response I'm talking about. The fans having power. It's not some of the crazy stuff out there. It's the Tim Cato reporting after the trade, how over 2,000 people dropped their Mavs TV subscriptions. Yeah. It's the season ticket holders that left and didn't come back. It is the Fire Nico chants in the arena that was nonstop and just wouldn't let up. Like, the fans affected that. And, I don't think that Nico gets fired in the first of, part of November there if, the fan reaction wasn't heard or didn't have the effect on ownership like it did.
I mean, even go to, I don't know if it was a plant. I don't know if it was an acting job. I know that the kid is a season ticket holder, but the kid with the Luka jersey that was talking to Patrick Dumont, like whether he set that up or did it organically, it happened. And that was like a statement that was made by ownership. Hey, I'm listening to the fans. I'm hearing what you guys are saying. And this voice has helped me make this decision, because it literally, like, Nico got fired literally the next day, right? Like that is something that was massive. And so I think don't close your own window, and the fans had a say in this. The fans have power in all this.
The other way to say it too, for me, and I put it in there, is the front office and ownership have to do the work to connect with fans. And I think that's another angle of that, of we saw in 2025 an ownership group, a front office, everybody, all the decision makers in that, because they had alienated so many people who had the context and the history with Mavs. It was just these people. It was this perfect combination of they didn't have the connections to the city and to the fans, and they didn't care, and it became a disaster. And that's where I think every sports franchise can learn that lesson of your ownership and the people in charge. If you come into a situation you don't have those connections, you got to do the work before you do some crazy, unbelievable, dumb decisions. Do the work to connect with your fan base and understand them and know the context of everything before you make a groundbreaking decision.
It's this idea of deposits and withdrawals in a relationship, right? Every relationship where you're like, all right, I'm depositing something relationally. We hang out. We have time together. Then withdrawal. Hey, can I ask you for something? Can I ask you for a favor? And this one was like, hey, we made the deposit of making the finals with this guy. But guess what? We're going to take this deposit and actually tell you that it was garbage and tell you that it actually didn't mean anything and just like throw it away over here. And so they literally went negative with that withdrawal and overdrafted for sure. And now they're paying for it in whatever way. But the Mavs got bailed out. Cooper Flagg, he's the future, the present, and everything for the Mavericks now. Something that they should learn about him. I'll tell you what it is coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds, things that you can use to get in on the action. Friday already feels different during basketball season. FanDuel is making them even better every Friday night before games tip off. FanDuel is giving fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. So you can go and open the FanDuel app during happy hour and always bring something new, boosts, bonuses, surprises, all kinds of things. Go check it out. So before tip off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Maybe the Mavericks will ever play a game in that window. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening every day. Appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the show. If you want ad-free episodes, you don't want to hear what I just said, like you want to just skip straight through that, ad-free episodes, subscribe to the Everydayer program. You also get access to our Discord on there, all kinds of other things. So subscribe to that. Links in the description and check the QR code. Also, our text line is in there as well. You can subscribe to that. We'll send you every single rumor. Trade deadline heating up, Isaac. You're a big trade guy.
Yeah, I've been blowing up subtext and the Discord over the past 72 hours.
So subscribe to the subtext, the text line. You get those as well. All right, Isaac, let's talk about things and lessons the Mavs learned from 2025. One of those is Cooper Flagg is the future and the present. Not just the future. This is not just, we have one timeline that's Cooper Flagg's and we have one timeline that's this other one. The other timeline is done. There is no other timeline. That one is done. I have one that I didn't really want to get into, but just the Mavs have learned you can't trust Anthony Davis like that. You just can't trust his health.
Did you learn that?
The Mavs
or did you already know that?
No, the Mavs definitely learned that.
Oh, okay. Because I almost put it on there, but I'm like, did I think differently before they traded for him?
Right. That's the thing is that I don't know that I learned that. That was one of the reasons why I was very frustrated with that trade to begin with. But
Nico learned that.
The Mavs were very still, even after Nico was gone, the Mavs were still like, hey, this is our guy. We, which I guess they got to say, but even not publicly, we would talk to people and they were still like, well, just wait and see what happens. Wait till we get our guy. You can't trust those guys to ever get on the court at the same time. You're just throwing darts at a dartboard blindfolded, trying to figure out when these guys are going to play together. So you can't trust your present, even though we saw some like little semblances of Mavs win 4 out of 5. The Mavs win 5 out of 6, and all of a sudden what happens when Kyrie comes back? And it would be cool if we got to see Kyrie come back, but you can't trust that. And so that's something I learned that I don't think we need to get into. But Flagg is the future and the present for sure.
Yeah, I put it there for Cooper too. It's just I think I don't know if it's a lesson, but it's learning in 2025 just that Cooper is better than expected right now.
Yeah.
Even when he first started off and the whole point guard crap was happening, we were still pretty adamant, like, dude, he's doing so many like good things on the floor. Like, he's a really good player. Like, just wait for it. And he's ahead of schedule for me. Like, I thought he was gonna be really good. And, we were throwing out generational type of thing and some people were getting mad or whatever. It's just like, I trust everybody else that covers the draft way more than like my own opinion of when they've seen him in person at different tournaments and, going from high school to Duke. And when all of these people, Raphael, everybody, no ceilings guys are just talking about how insane of a prospect he is. It's like, all right, like that's the type of stuff that compared to some of these other drafts. And then he gets in here and then all the stuff that we've seen since he's been in Dallas and the offense being like kind of where it's at now, whenever I thought that was the thing I was going to be playing catch up a lot of the times, and everything you hear behind the scenes about how much he, just his work ethic, how Call of Duty is, just all the stuff. And it's like the expectations and like the excitement of Cooper was like very high, and somehow it's like even higher now.
He's easily the second best 18-year-old ever.
Yes. That played in the NBA.
LeBron than him. No, just like of all 18-year-olds. Like think of any 18-year-old we've ever known. Like he's fifth in the NBA in total clutch points right now. Like this clutch thing, yes, it is it's a volume stat. He's played a lot of clutch games. He's played 24 clutch games. I guess SGA's only played like 15 or something like that. And SGA scored 100 points in that, but Flagg has scored 70 points in his 24 clutch games. I went through and started going through how many clutch points some of the other rookies have done in the past. Here are the other rookies for this year. VJ Edgecombe has 33 points in 20 games. Cooper Flagg has 70 in 24. Con Knibble has 28 in 11 games. Derek Queen has 22 in 14 games. Like the past rookies kind of shocked me a little bit going through them. Castle 38 and 26. Cade Cunningham 67 and 34, so didn't even score as many as Flagg already has. Anthony Edwards, 43 and 32 games. Halliburton, 40 and 32 games. You had Wemby, 84 and 35 games. So that's less average than what Cooper Flagg is right now. You had Paolo Banchero, 91 and 40 games. John Morant, 84 and 29 games. Luka, 120 clutch points in 38 clutch games played. That's a little bit higher of a rate than what Flagg is at now, but we're talking about that's where he is. Trae Young was a fascinating one. Trae Young, 119 clutch points in 36 games. He had a higher average in the clutch than Luka did his rookie year and any other rookie that I just mentioned in this whole list.
Well, what's wild is those two guys are like primary creators, and
yeah, true.
That's one of my lessons too, was like Cooper excels off the ball. And I think that's something I hope the Mavs take into, these next decisions and roster building and everything of, hey, let's get him alongside, when Kyrie comes back, like let's keep him in this secondary creator role and let's not go back to that uncomfortable point guard experience again.
How many rolls off of pick and roll do you think he's ran so far this season where he's gotten the ball?
As the roller?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. I have no clue. I wouldn't say not very much.
11.
Like 12? Oh.
Well. 11. That's not enough for they got to use him off the ball more. And I think part of that is because they haven't had these ball handlers next to him. But I mean, he's been pretty good. He's been an average pick and roll ball handler according to Synergy. Cooper Flagg has been, but in transition, very good. And ISO he's actually been average, which is kind of a crazy stat for him for the age that he is. But I think they need to run him off that a little bit more. The off-ball stuff I totally agree with. And I hope that's a lesson that they've learned is, hey, we've got to get him off the ball a little bit so that when he is on the ball, he's on the move. He's playing off of a secondary, action that he just dominates in that way.
Yeah, and I'll add this on here, and I had this on my list too. A lesson from 2025, and this is kind of league-wide, but for the Mavs, is you got to have multiple creators on your team. Like you got to have them on the lineup. You look at the finals this past year, Oklahoma City, Indiana, and it's like Indiana has Nembhard out there with Halliburton. And it's like these dual guys. You look, a year before that, you look at Luka and Kyrie and the impact that had. Even before Kyrie got there, Brunson with Luka. You look at OKC having multiple guys with J-Dub and SGA and Caruso when he's out there, Case and Wallace. You got to have 2, sometimes 3. I mean, if you can have 4, like guys who can put the ball on the floor
5, 6.
and 5. Let's just keep going. All 10. And
Jason
but
Kidd
it's like
step out there and make a play.
you got to. That's how you got to build this roster, and more than the bigs more than, like that is what you have to have. And I think that taking that lesson into roster building, this is one of the other reasons too. I've been so pro of like, I don't want to be in this Anthony Davis experience long-term with that next contract. And you can even tie another lesson on top of that, the limitations of roster building with big contracts in the league today. I mean, how many dudes right now are we talking about around the NBA that make above $30 million that everybody's kind of pointing at each other and being like, well, do you want this? Do you want LaMelo or Ja or Trae Young or Zion or Anthony Davis? Or it's like you just keep on going around. It's like all these big contracts because teams are just so limited. And it's like, all right, these players are good, but is it worth, like, our teams are not up here. And if you're not up here, then you're not getting the big contracts right. And I think it just puts more pressure on every team. Every good team is probably going to have, 2 of those big contracts, maybe 3. But if you're going to have 2, you got to get those 2 right.
Got to be guaranteed.
If you want to be a really good team. And that's where I hope it's creators next to Cooper.
I had literally just play with point guards. That was one of my lessons that they should learn. Nembhard and Brandon Williams off the floor. 104 offensive rating, like just putrid garbage, bottom 10th percentile, like just terrible. Either Nembhard or Brandon Williams on the floor. 114 offensive rating, which is average. Like that takes some average. That's almost 10 points per 100 possessions better, which is insane. The defense does go down 4 points, goes from 112 to 116, which is bad. But there's obviously tons of other issues. Anthony Davis' injury and others that deal with that. But man, just the difference in the offense, the way that it flows when they play with a point guard at all. I hope that's a lesson that they learned for sure. Or Jason Kidd did it on purpose. Coming up, playoffs are for closers. I learned a bunch of other things. I learned that we have dueling soundboards. Learned a lot of other things. Let's talk about some lessons we learned. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Game Time. During basketball season, there's nothing like being in the building. I love it. I plan all my trips around when Mavs games are not happening in the American Airlines Center because I love it so much. I love meeting people there. I love the energy. I love the crowd. I love the big run. I love the when the Maniacs throw things. I love when I see Champ like
you say runs
surprise. The Maniacs don't run. Sorry. I love when Champ surprises somebody. There's always fun stuff happening in there. I love randomly when I get shocked because Mavs man is behind me and like he's part of the Raccoon Squad. And I appreciate him. All kinds of great stuff at games. Go check it out. And that's where Game Time comes in. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage back, making it incredibly easy to score amazing tickets fast, simple, and without the guesswork. Browse Game Time app, straightforward. It's intuitive. Finding tickets takes just a few taps. I've done it so many times for Dallas Wings games. I've done it for theater, for concert tickets, for all kinds of other stuff too. So check it out. They have the zone deals thing. Helps you unlock great seats at even a better value. You just pick out, all right, here's the best zone, and they give you a seat in there. Whether it's an NBA game or another live event, everything is right there on one place. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use this code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDON NBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today and get in on the action with Game Time.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Isaac, we're talking about lessons the Mavericks should have learned in 2025. I think the whole franchise is completely different from the start of 2025 to now. I don't know who's learning these lessons, but hopefully they did. Playoffs are for closers. You want to make the playoffs, you got to close games out. Mavs have not closed enough games out. They're 10-16 in clutch games. I was actually surprised they won 10 clutch games, which is actually kind of surprising to me in that. They are 26 in field goal percentage in the clutch. They're 26 in three-point percentage, 22% in the clutch, 16th in free throw percentage in the clutch. They've had more clutch losses than anybody else in the NBA. Mavs have 16 clutch losses. The Pelicans have 13. Cavs have 12, and 3 other teams have 11. You got to close games out, and maybe Kyrie comes in and changes a lot of that stuff, but I think the Mavs have to figure out that part of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I titled yesterday's show 50 First Dates, that dumb rom-com movie, because it feels like every game is the same right now. It's like no matter who they play, which recently it feels like some random mediocre like backcourt guys is going to torch you. Going from Caleb Love to like Russ and Keon Ellis to it's like, all right, how many of these dudes?
Keon Ellis' game log is like it's like 0 0 0 0 24 0 0. Like
I love Keon Ellis. If he can become a Mav, please do it.
Great.
But it was, but no, I mean, I think, with the clutch stuff, everything feels the same. And yeah, I mean, Kyrie's one of the best clutch players in the league. So, something tells me we might get Kyrie coming back, and then it's like, oh, Kyrie has reached his minute limit. He's not going to be playing in the fourth. And
here's something I don't know if I've learned.
I was going to say, I have multiple ones. We need a popcorn.
All right, let's popcorn back and forth. Mark Follow is the GOAT, and it's so obvious when he doesn't call a Mavericks game. Like, shout out to the guys that have filled in for him, but you just miss it so much. Like, he's just one of the greatest we've seen.
Yeah, that Peacock disaster makes Mark look. Let me just get the Hall of Fame jacket right
Devin
now.
has been great this year.
Yeah, no, Devin has been great. Yeah, I meant the sideline reporting.
I don't know if he did this first, but I've heard people start saying cookies anytime somebody gets the ball stolen, like at half court, and he was one of the first that I heard do that.
This one's a little sad, but Lively isn't a lock for the future. I feel like that's something that I did learn in 2025.
Not a lock. I'm holding out hope, but
because at the beginning of the year, January 2025 is when he had like the fracture in his foot. And he was out for the rest of the year. And then we had the new one at the end of 2025. And it's just like, it's kind of like bookended the year. And just bummed, I think that's a lesson for the Mavs right now is he's not just a guaranteed lock of going to be here for a while.
I'll bring the mood up a little bit. Max Christie, starter level rotation player.
Oh, yeah.
Lock it in.
I like it.
On synergy, he ranks very good on spot up shots. He's obviously shooting the stuff out of the ball. 1.13 points per possessions on spot up shots. Just incredible. He's added a little bit off the dribble, a little bit in transition. He's been all of his rankings in synergy are really good. We just need a little bit more Max Christie. I think is something that we may.
I mean, literally one of the best 3-point shooters in the entire league. So
yeah, great.
And he's super young. Love Max. He's got to stay. I mean, I put this in there because I think the Mavs learned how much Kyrie means to this team. It's just, I think, a lesson or a thing you learned this year of like Kyrie was the leader of this team before Luka was gone, but then Kyrie was the person who handled it the best with fans post trade. Like when everybody else above Kyrie was just a PR disaster. And making all the wrong moves, Kyrie was the one that actually connected with fans and empathized with fans. And just the amount of, like, he hasn't even played this year, but just like his presence there, any social post about him that the Mavs make, it's just people just love Kyrie, the jerseys, everything. Like, he is the leader of the team. When he comes back, I mean, it's going to be an awesome moment. Like, I hope it's at home or his first game at home is going to be awesome because he's going to be just cheered so much. And yeah, he just means a lot to his team and they got to keep him here if he wants to be here.
I mean, go all the way back to Fan Jam.
I love Fan Jam.
They introduced every single player at Fan Jam and he got the loudest ovation by far, even more than Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, anybody else.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm going to take the mood back down.
And say I have two more.
Meg Thee Stallion did not revitalize Klay.
Oh, whoa.
Sorry.
Dude, he's worn out right now. I mean,
career low in 3-point percentage, 35%. Career low in field goal percentage, 37%. Career low in free throw percentage, 67%. Do you remember what Klay Thompson's goal was coming into the year?
No.
He wanted to be on the 50-49 club.
Oh, man.
He's shooting 37, 35, and 67.
I love Klay too much. I can't say anything.
I'm just saying, though, I think we learned that.
Maybe it's the cooking. It looks like she's a great cook. Dude, my wife and Barb and I were watching the other day some of her like TikToks or stuff about her cooking, and it's like we're both like, man, that looks really good.
Oh, were you watching them?
We were.
Okay. His dad, Michael Thompson, was like some of the best cooking I've ever had in my life after their Thanksgiving thing.
Him on Twitter is weird.
Him in real life is weird.
Here's one that's personal. Ask tough questions. It's worth it.
Is it?
I think it's worth it. I still stand by it. Somebody brought that up to me the other day. We were talking about the chaos of this Mavs year, and they're like, "Oh wow, well, was that like the biggest moment in your Mavs like whatever career?" was asking Nico that thing. I was like, I don't know, not my personal favorite moment. I mean, I still stand by it, but it did get a lot of like, and I still like, I think it was a fine question, and I don't care what Nico thinks about it.
I think it was one of the most the other thing that I've learned so far, 2025, the Ninja Creamy worth every single penny that I paid for.
We're going off script now. We're going off basketball. Guys, Nick does everything with this Ninja Creamy. I mean,
I don't know if I'll ever eat solid foods ever again.
There's probably some jokes up in there, but all right, here's my last basketball one. Like, just OKC is here to stay, and I think it's just something as a lesson you just seen, you know, even though they won in 7 games in the finals, and I get that Wemby and them have beat them and they've lost a few games recently.
Spurs, man.
They're super young, they're well coached, they're annoying as heck, and Dort is literally like the dirtiest player in basketball.
He's gonna be on the Mavs in 2 years.
But it's just, I think it is just something to think about when roster building. Whenever you don't want to do the whole like thing in the past with Shaq of like these teams going out and overpaying for all these big centers and stuff to guard Shaq. But it's just like you got to keep them in the back of your mind, because even if a check goes down, they're going to be a monster too, and they're just going to be reloading. Like, there's a chance they get 2 top 10 picks in this upcoming draft. Like, that's just stupid.
Their version of the Shaq thing, like getting the Eric Dampier to guard Shaq, or getting the guy that can give you 6 fouls to guard Shaq, is get multiple ball handlers. I mean, that's the way against them. You look at what the Spurs have done. What they've done well is they have Fox, they have Castle, they have Vassell, they have Wemby. Like, they have multiple
Harper.
They have multiple guys that can just handle the ball. And I mean, that's the way to kind of beat them. It's like you got to just throw options at them. And then maybe have one guy that just breaks your defense completely because he makes absolutely no sense as a human.
Because he's from Signs, the Mel Gibson movie.
Oh, I was talking about Harrison Barnes. Sorry.
Oh, well, that's who I was talking about.
Yeah, I had about OKC. I had youth and depth went out. OKC versus Indy in the finals. Youth and depth. Minnesota versus Minnesota and the Knicks were the other teams, and that's youth and depth right there.
Yeah.
Last one. Are we late enough in the show for me to do this one?
Yeah, we're past 30 minutes, so everything goes now.
We're past it.
Y'all know, past the 30-minute mark, it's real. Like, this is why you listen to the end of the show. This is when you get random takes.
The Lakers media and the fans sure turned on Luka pretty fast.
Oh, all right. What about that? What about the Civil War going on right now?
The LeBron stance versus the Luka stance is worse than anything we had to go through with the Luka stance and the Kyrie stance.
Do you low-key enjoy it?
Do I enjoy it? I feel bad for Luka in all of it.
Well, no. I feel bad for Luka, but it's the Civil War. Watching from the online, like out the window, looking down at this war of LeBron FC, Luka FC, and it's just like slow hoops pulling out the sword of like, I'm going at
LeBron.
I've never owned more stock in slow hoops than right now, because he is hating LeBron more than anything, and I love it. It's like, sign me up. How do I put you on push notifications? All right.
Gotta get unblocked first.
No, he doesn't have me blocked. No.
Oh, you didn't make it there?
No, I don't think so. No.
Man, it is the Lakers hold it is perfection or nothing over there. And if you get on their bad side, all of a sudden they turn on you quick. And not every Lakers fan, obviously, but there's just a subsection that is just done with the whole thing.
I enjoy the JJ discourse too, because there was a little bit of like, my crap doesn't stink with JJ of like, hey, I'm going to come in here and be this coach that like, I'm the new, what didn't somebody say like the new young Pat Riley, and just seeing the discourse around that too. And his like presser the other day of like, I can't do 53 more games. Like, oh, thank you.
You might not.
I hate it for Luka that he's got it. I mean, I say I hate it. I mean, he has a crazy new contract and he's living in LA, and they're going to build everything around him. But he does have to. All right. Let me clear out a little bit now too. Again, one more thing. Does this crap though not prove just a little bit my point of I wouldn't take LeBron for nothing this past offseason? of like this circus.
Oh, on the Mavs?
Yes. Like this, can you imagine this happening right now with Cooper here and LeBron's bullcrap? Like, I know. Like, this is what I'm talking about, people. I'm like, you would want that.
This take up this slightly tomorrow.
You would want that. I would take Dante Exum in ICU more than
you have that right now. It's something we have
more than this Barney Circus of LeBron here in Dallas with this Cooper Flagg experience. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there. Just
not even for free though.
Not even for free.
You'd be more movable if he was free, for sure.
I get torched pretty good whenever you countered me when I said not for free, and you're like, you'd rather have Dante Exum than LeBron. I'm like, yeah. Like, I knew as soon as I said that, I was like, here we go. And
thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. Check the Everydayers Club. Links in the description for different ways to find that. And the text line. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
I got called racist for that. I'm like, isn't Dante Exum black too? Like,
Pledge allegiance to the flag, man.
Boom.